In Retro Game of the Week, we dive into our game library and pick out a classic to see if it still holds up today. Let's grab a controller and play some retro games.
My true name is Deckard Cain, the Elder, and I am the last descendant of an ancient brotherhood that was dedicated to safeguarding the secrets of a timeless evil.
There have been many successful RPGs and action games, but never a combination that works so well as the first Diablo back in 1996. With its randomized levels, colored loot, and great atmosphere, Diablo really was a genre-defining game.
Thank goodness you returned. Much has changed since you lived here, my friend.
You started your game by picking one of 3 classes, Warrior, Rogue, or Sorcerer. Your job was to go through 16 floors of isometric hell and murder Diablo himself. To do this, you had to master the abilities of your hero. The Warrior was a master of close quarters combat. The Rogue class was amazing at ranged attacks. And the Sorcerer was an absolute beast with a mana's shield and a few spells under his belt. As if leveling up your character wasn't addicting enough, there was also a whole lot of sweet loot to find. The thrill of Diablo has always been finding that one item drop that made you an absolute badass. There were tons of doors to open, enemies to kill, treasures to find, and money to spend, making Diablo a really addictive game. Diablo wasn't a very long game, and you could finish it in about an hour. But after beating it once, you would want to go through it again, just to level up and get more items. Randomization of the levels made sure that it was a different experience on each playthrough. There was also a basic online multiplayer function, though it was ripe with hacks and duping at the time. The graphics and great sound design of Diablo completely pulled you into the game.
I can see what you see not. Vision milky, then eyes rot.
You really felt like you were in a corrupted dungeon heading towards hell. And the areas and enemies only grew more creepy as you traveled further down. Even today, it's hard to find a game with such a great feel for atmosphere.
Abandon your foolish quest. All that awaits you is the wrath of my master. You are too late to save the child. Now you will join him in hell.
For all that Diablo did well, there were a couple of weaknesses. Your character could only walk, which made the game feel sluggish at times. It could also be difficult to pick up items as they were hard to see on the dark floors. And the lack of a difficulty setting made the game way too easy for players with higher level characters. Diablo is hands down one of the best RPGs ever made. It had magnificent atmosphere and gameplay that was so addictive it would keep you playing long into the night. If you haven't played Diablo already, we highly recommend it to anyone who wants to see where gaming's obsession with loot and leveling up started.